back to Onyx Pages. I'm Injeri and I'm here for another Top 5 Wednesday. So, the Top 5 Wednesday topic for February 13th is independent ladies. Favorite leading ladies who aren't distracted from getting shit done by their love interest. Okay, so first of all, ladies, that's really not a term I use a lot because I find it, I don't know, problematic and really old and kind of classist, heterosexist. I just don't like it. I like talking about women and not ladies. And so I'm going to be talking about 5 books that have female or women main characters who had a calling and whose romantic interests didn't take them away from that calling or became a part of that calling. So the first one, of course, is the Gilda Stories. The Gilda Stories is a set of stories. It's a novel written. Laundry. Welcome to my life. So the Gilda Stories is a story in which we follow Gilda, who becomes a vampire, and there are a number of people that she has passionate relationships with. But there's one particular relationship that she has. It's loving, it's sexy, it's passionate. However, because she's a vampire, she realizes that she has some choices to make about whether or not she wants to fall in love with this mortal and what it means for her as a vampire to fall in love with a mortal and what her larger life goals are. So that is book number 1. Book number 2 is Lilith's Brood. And in Lilith's Brood, we follow Lilith Yapo. And, she wakes up one day and realizes that something bad has happened to the Earth. The Earth has been colonized by these alien beings. These alien beings really get off on mixing genetic traits and engaging in these non-consensual exchanges of genetic material, and they identify her as the one who is going to lead this new generation of humans and aliens into this new world order effectively. And throughout this, she gets pushed into all of these different situations where she has to deal with her feelings for other humans, her feelings for these aliens, and she needs to manage all of that. And although she has opportunities to have romantic relationships and family and sexual relationships, there's this overarching sense of the fact that she has a really difficult project that she has to lead. And she never loses sight of that. And I love this book for it. In Shadow Shaper by Danielle Jose Older, we follow Sierra Santiago as she realizes that she is in fact a shadow shaper, and she has the ability to use a style of magic that comes through in her creative talents as an artist. Yes, she has a crush on someone while this book happens and while this story unfolds, but it doesn't take her away from her task of needing to marshal her magic in order to preserve her culture and her people within the context of a rapidly gentrifying neighborhood. Then we've got Dread Nation by Justina Ireland, and the main character's name, what is her name? Jane McKean. Jane's badass. Jane can kill zombies. Jane is really good at what she does. She's good with a scythe, and she is a queer character, black female character. And although she finds herself falling for people who are good for her or who are just kind of fun, she has a larger goal in mind. She wants to get back to her mother because she and her mother were separated because Jane, as were all the black girls at her time, were separated by their families and taken away to these schools where they're trained to kill vampires. So it's a really great story. I buddy read it with Linnell at Weekend Reader and just totally loved it. And the last book that I want to talk about is Kindred by Octavia Butler, and I've got in front of me the graphic novel version, and I'm looking to see if the other version is easily within my reach, and it is not. The main character in the story is called Dana, and one day she goes back in time. She gets pulled back in time, and she realizes as she gets pulled back in time more and more that the reason that she's getting pulled back, laundry, because that's my life. The reason why she gets pulled back in time is because she is somehow psychically linked through time to one of her ancestors who was a owner of a plantation. Now, she is engaged to a white man. She's a black female main character. She's engaged to a white man, and he's trying to figure out why his partner is disappearing for what to him seems like just a few minutes, and what to her can sometimes seem like years or decades. And he's got his own struggles that he's dealing with, but she realizes that for her, it's important to resolve this time travel, this non-consensual time travel thing that she's doing, so that she can stay, I guess, in the 1970s and 1980s where she belongs. And there is this interesting tension between her and her man, because he wants her to sort of stay in and not to get so consumed in that world, and she's driven by an imperative that's greater than her love for him. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. That's good, and is a great example for this Top 5 Wednesday. All right, that was it. I hope you liked my reads. If you've read any of these books, please let me know. Let me know what you think. And of course, if you have a chance, why don't you record a top 5 video of your own? Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.